Well, welcome to this video. Let's just start off. I mentioned that this will be a video where I'm gonna theorize about a thing of something made by the man himself, Tom Hertz, and his series, The Edgeverse. Watch it because it is absolute peat. So remember to watch it before you decide to watch this video, because I'm gonna know a lot of things for networks, a lot of information, and I might make a series basically about this, where I do two different series of GMFNAF and theorize about them. So if you guys like this video, I'll make more episodes. But yes, this is episode 1 of it, so have fun. There. So enjoy watching me rant about a Russian white and green bear and a binary angry boy. There. This is the theory of Toad Burrito and Tamara X. From what we've seen over the course of the series is that Toad Burrito and Tamara X hate each other's guts. But why? For what reason? Well, I have a theory. And hear me out on this. What my theory is that Toad Burrito is Tamara X's original OC, aka Freddy with a Tamara, and is possibly the OG trader of the Edgeverse, or at the very least, he's a version of Tamara. Here is my reasoning. Throughout Edgeverse, Toad Burrito and Tamara have a lot of dialogue together. A lot of intriguing and fascinating dialogue, so there's a lot of ideas. So I'm gonna go through all of them and leave the more in-depth theories at the end. So, back per story. Toad Burrito and Tamara thought that for Tamara business the events of purgatory. Thoughts about how Toad Burrito only did this with the concept of the future. Then Toad Burrito touched back with that he knows all about the future and past, and that Tamara has put on something. Tamara says she doesn't even know what Toad Burrito is, and Toad Burrito responds with that he'll remember in due time. He very clearly implies that they knew each other before all of this, and that Toad Burrito witnessed something or something happened that he can't accept. 2 episodes later, in Amethyst Remnant, they talk again, and Toad Burrito says the following.
Well, look who's suffering now, huh? Nice to see you too. Man. You know, I never would have wanted it to come to this. You know, if you hadn't just kicked me out, then maybe you wouldn't be in chains, maybe you wouldn't be broken. Maybe all your worlds would be intact, but I guess we don't always get what we want, do we?
This dialogue speaks a lot about what happened to them. Tamara clearly took Toad Burrito on from something, and now Toad Burrito takes revenge by doing everything that he does in this verse. Very intriguing. A while later, the epic battle happened in Dreadnought, and something very special is implied by all the dialogue in this episode. What happens in this episode is that Toad Burrito proceeds to draw on a thought about the fact that Tamara seemingly stole the world which makes me the Edgeverse away from him, and that he dislikes what Tamara turned it into. He talks about how people hate and loathe his leadership, how people, even without meeting him, know it's a piece of crap. He knows that Tamara knows that too, then leaves it off with the fact that he hates looking at his creation, and knowing that not only people hate Tamara, but him too. During their fight, Later on in the episode, he says,
"This is all an exercise in futility. I know every move before you make it. There's no beating me."
It's interesting. Does the new time work that well, or does he have some mental connection with him? Like, is he psychologically connected to the guy? Who knows? Later on, the most lowest building parts happen with this. During the battle, Torbeto possessed a shape-shifting statue that he made, and he transformed into a white and red version of Tamers. Say that for you. Later, he says these words.
"The years to come, and we can start with the end of a villain."
It seems that Torbeto doesn't consider himself a villain for a reason, most likely related to whatever happened to him or Solando. Far later in the episode, Tamers beats Torbeto, and Torbeto's last words to him are,
"I knew."
Tamers responds with a lot of remembrance or recognition, and it seems he might know who he is as he yells,
"Stay out my life!"
before what we presumed killing him. However, later on, like during the ending, Torbeto survived, which most likely happened that he escaped through this portal at the same time as Tamers did the attack with a Mitra sword. And after teleporting away, seems to be being affected by something, as he brings glitching out, and for a moment, we see him splitting into a white version of himself. Then, after that, he talks to the minions, before he notices the red version of himself standing nearby. I will be referring to this diastole tatter. And a dialogue which I have managed to fully fit it out with the help of TapTurt, which I will play here.
What? God, you're corrupted. You're.
You shouldn't have put too much strain on your conscience. They paid a price. Halloween is now mine. I will destroy X-Force the way you never could.
No, not on my watch. Assassins are coming. Targets locked. I made all of you. Stay back.
And with that, we have gone over every single piece of information that a person in it first. And now I will begin the theories. there are two possibilities that I have figured out, and I bought one of them from someone else, but I will credit them. And these possibilities are for who and what Toad Baito is. So, yeah. Here we go. Theory 1. Toad Baito is the embodiment of Tanverse's doubts and malice. So, this theory actually comes from a friend of mine told Too Much Effort, so thanked him for this theory. And I've noticed a few things that actually seen to make this theory possible. We have seen for the entire series that Toad Baito been constantly been seen hating and insulting Tanverse. He hates anything and everything related to him, to the point that he decides to meet an army, just to destroy the Yetchverse and take Tanverse's older souls. Most of the time he's seen in an angry and hateful move that ends pretty much everyone, but he specifically has a doubt for Tanverse. I have to say, it is a possible theory that, he's some sort of embodiment of Tanverse's inner hatred. However, there are a few things possibly in conflict, like the fact that he says,
if you hadn't just kicked me out, then maybe you wouldn't be in chains, maybe you wouldn't be broken, maybe all your worlds would be intact, but I guess we don't always get what we want, do we?
Though you should just say that Toad Baito wanted to be accepted, and Tanverse tested them out and made them suffer because of it. But still, it's a very good theory. Theory 2. Toad Baito is Tanverse's original OC and the OG trader for the Yetchverse. The theory is that Toad Baito is his very first OC ever without a simple Freddy with a camera, and I have reason to believe that he may be the original trader of the Yetchverse that Tanverse put over. Whether that was forcibly or not, I will discuss. But before I do, I will say it is possible that he is the first Tanverse, but I shall discuss all my reasoning and answer some things, possibly. So, first of all of Toad Baito and Tanverse's dialogue imply they knew each other even before the events of Yetchverse, and Toad Baito does on a constant thought about suffering, stealing, and being tipped out. He even says that Tanverse tipped him out of something, and for me it sounds like he tipped him out of a possession of power. He mentioned that he hates that people hate not only Tanverse, but him as well. He dislikes what Tanverse turned his world into, that Tanverse apparently stole from him. He even mentioned that he knows every move before Tanverse makes it. Whether it means that he just knows them good enough or is some mental connection, it's unclear, but still suspicious. Another thing is that right before he tails Tanverse, he says the following: use the thumb, and we then start with the end of the villain. It feels like he's saying that Tanverse is the real villain here, not him. It could just be Paidenito talking, but I'm not sure. Not to mention, and hear me out here, this is what I meant in saving. When he possesses the statue, he chooses to specifically become a white and red version of Tanverse. And what was it all see? Red. Before you say that the statue shows it for him, he literally says it's a shape-shifting statue, meaning he can probably use what form, and yet he uses that. Suspicious. So, what my theory is running up to is that Tollbreaker was the original and former trader of the Edgeverse, and he was either a normal Freddy or what Time Versus Red OC. And two things happened. Either, one, he got overthrown by Time Versus, who took his identity and tipped him out, pumping him to suffer. He was then eventually co-opted into Tollbreaker. Or he took up an apprentice or a student to eventually take over for him when and if he retires, which ended up being Time Versus. However, he forcibly, or someone made him step down, which led them to become Tollbreaker. He grew to hate and eventually take revenge on Time Versus for whatever of the two options that happened. Time Versus of course forgot who he was, since he was way too different, but eventually remembers him in the end, but tells him to perhaps silence him, as perhaps he doesn't want to know that, as perhaps he doesn't want people to know that he's not supposed to be the ruler. And just saying, if that is the case, think about it like this. Time Versus, came in, or a few, or forcibly tipped Tollbreaker out, who was possibly his mentor, if he was really an apprentice or a student, and Tollbreaker was possibly a good leader, considering that he knows what Time Versus did to his role, and he proceeded to do everything that he does, which made everyone in the Edgeverse start to hate him. And if he really did remember and tried to tell Tollbreaker to make sure he didn't tell anybody, then that really shows some for Time Versus' character. Though, there are two more things I need to point out before I end this video. Stolen Shatter and the AMU line by Tollbreaker. Now, I will say, the AMU line could refer to that he was formerly Time Versus, or it could be a connection that he is Time Versus' manifestation of doubts and shocks. It could even be even simpler on that he is just one side of the same coin with Time Versus. By that I mean they could potentially be one and the same. Yeah. So yeah, three possibilities. 1. He is the manifestation of Time Versus' doubts, malice, hatred, whatever you want to call it. 2. He is the former trader of the Edgeverse and was overthrown by Time Versus, who wants to keep him quiet for telling anybody. Or 3. They are just one and the same. Either something happened and he's, split in two, or I don't know, to be one and the same. Now, for Starlight Hatter, he will be for another video, because I think maybe this isn't too long for now, and I feel like he deserves his own discussion, because what the actual hell was that? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, that was all. I might, and like I said, I might make this a series of the 13 GMFNAF theories and different series, because I have to admit, this community is excellent when it comes to fantastical storytelling. So, yeah, if you guys want that, then I'll make more. But anywho, see you all later and have a good day, and think about it. Perhaps Time Versus is worse than we thought.